My comic book journey is one of initial apprehension, intense passion, and archetypal burnout. It all happened very quickly as I've hunted, ordered, bagged, and smelled my fair share of comic books in the last 10 to 12 months. As I find myself in this fatigue phase, waffling about as I watch my home office slash comic room slash filming studio grow more cluttered and messy every day, I want very much to reconnect with this passion, to find the wherewithal to get organized and make the time to simply sit and enjoy reading comics again. Before I try to start to reconnect, I'd like to recap the last year. Discovery. Last year during the summer, I found myself in Austin, Texas, and suddenly rediscovering this hobby again, when after many failed attempts to visit an LCS very close to where I live, I decided to just pop into one while in Austin. I'm notoriously a very picky shopper, and after what felt like more than an hour, I left with a TMNT trade paperback, Volume 6, City Fall Part 1. It sat in my desk for a few months, not getting read. I would occasionally open the drawer to look at it, sometimes even open it up and admire some of the pages. When I finally decided to read the damn thing, I loved it. I enjoyed being thrust right into the middle of a fully fleshed out world. I had to have more of this feeling. Felicity. With one book, I went down the road that I'm sure many have taken. It started with Worlds to Explore, then it became collecting for the sake of collecting, fear of missing out, big events, number ones, finding good quality copies. I then started to accumulate more comics than I could read. When I discovered half-price books, that accelerated things even further. I went from having a few hundred comics to well over 1,200 in the span of 6 to 8 months. Fatigue. I have sort of settled in a little more. I was going several times a week to various local shops, half-price books, or online. Now I slowed my hunting, but still visiting my LCS every few weeks to maybe once a month. And I also have a monthly order with DCBS. Oh, and also, earlier this summer, 2023, I went on a nationwide trip from DFW, Texas to New York City, New York in search of comic books. Thankfully, or maybe regrettably, I only picked up about 100 or so comics, since the road trip had multiple different purposes. It wasn't just the comic books. You can check out the full story on my other channel in the link right here. Since that road trip, my interest in comics has waned, or maybe I just feel overwhelmed. I have 4 months of DCBS orders, a few stacks for my visits to pick up my pull list, and several other purchases going back to June and my road trip to New York. I have to very desperately get things in order so I can feel caught up. There are some websites and apps out there that help you track your comics. My preferred method is to just use a spreadsheet. I document the publisher, title, issue, release date, date I purchased it, cover price, and the price I paid, along with a few other things.
This has duplicates. It's because I just haven't gone through all these, and I didn't know if I had this one, I didn't know if I had this one, and there's probably more. That's what happens when you don't go through all your comics when you get them. You go again, you say to yourself, well, did I pick up this one issue? And you end up spending double for the same issue. Pretty random, I'm not sure what's in it.
I love ordering from DCBS because it's a lot cheaper per comic than your LCS. The only thing is you do have to order enough comics to make the shipping worth it. It's a flat shipping charge per shipment, and you can choose to have your comics delivered once a month, twice a month, or weekly. I just do once a month, so the only downside with that is that you have to wait a while for certain comics. If it released at the beginning of the month and you don't get it to the end of the month, you're just going to have to wait for that story. Since I have a monthly order with the CBS as well as a standing pull list with my local comic shop, I have a steady influx of comics coming in, as you can see. So getting things in order and organized and put away is definitely a welcome improvement to this office. As I've moved in and out of the comic book hobby throughout 2023 into one of my many other hobbies, it's just piled up more and more. So I'm glad to be doing this. A lot of people might say that the floppy business is dying, and with all this mess that you see here, you might think that I should just switch over to collected editions and get trade paperbacks, hardcovers, omnibuy. But I really do enjoy single issue comics. While I have been having trouble keeping up with a lot of the comics here, I have been caught up on some titles which I'm glad to be caught up on. I am starting to build up my collection of trade paperbacks and hardcovers. Between them I have about 90 so far. But I really don't think I'll stop collecting floppies. I just really enjoy having all the individual issues, having them when they come out. And the biggest part of all my collection is going back and getting the back issues. There are some issues which aren't collected in collected editions. There are issues which are out of print in collected editions, but you can find at a half-price books, McKay's, or your local comic shop's back issue bins. One thing I think some people may not realize is that if floppies went away completely, 100%, then trade paperbacks and hardcovers would go up in price, or possibly start having advertisements, or both. While I do love single issues, I have been starting to be more selective in the back issues that I pick up. I'm just getting more and more of them through much cheaper means like half-price books or McKay's, where I can find single issues from as low as 50 cents. It also helps that I've been able to, throughout 2023, fill in a lot of the titles that I've been wanting to fill in. My favorite titles that I've been collecting back issues of are Back to the Future, Ninja Turtles, and Superman and Batman. There will be more to this comic book journey throughout 2024 as I explore more places in the US, hunt down some more comic books, build my collection, and enjoy this hobby. So please go ahead and follow me. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace. I always make sure to wash my hands before handling the comics.